Hi, everyone. Wait, let me get properly set up here. Why is this? Is that how we did it? The camera and photo booth was like different from the camera on the live stream. Why is this so hard? Okay, there we go. Now it's like more centered. There we go. All right, I'm gonna post. Hi, Mike. Henwo Vegan Fam. Paul, here we go. Hey, Zach. All right, I'm going to do my pinned comment. I'm going to try not to type too much this time because people complained that the typing was a little too much last time. Why is this like so? We already have a special guest who is completely absent from my first two streams, which was very unusual. Okay. Here's my pinned comment. Hi, Mike. Two mics. Mike Cross. Ooh. All right. How do I pin this? Why is this thing in the way? Pin message. All right. There we go. Welcome, guys. I'm still like trying to figure out why this looks so crooked. Okay, that's just gonna have to work. Look at that cat. Let me just check something. Let me know can you guys still see me? I'm in a different tab. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can still see me. Zach in Northern California. Michael does that mean Los Angeles? How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a good week. Los Angeles, nice. Jealous. Get some good vegan food for me, for all of us. Okay. Titusville, Florida, I think that says. Hey, vegan peeps. Hey, V, thanks for joining. Cool shirt, Paul says. This is a shirt that I actually got for Paul for, I think, Valentine's Day last year. It's a vintage Beatles shirt I got off Poshmark, but he never wears it. And so I wear it. I wish he would wear it, but at least one of us is wearing it. Everyone can hear me okay? He says he doesn't wear it because he doesn't want to ruin it. That's understandable. It's very thin. It's like very aged. It's kind of like fraying at the edges, but that kind of gives it some character, I think. All right, guys, I've got some interesting topics to discuss today. There's a lot of stuff happening in the vegan world. I don't know if you guys have heard about the donut story, the donut controversy. I've been kind of obsessed with it. It's truly wild. So we're going to talk about that, but I think we're going to save that for a few stories in. And I might have some snacks. Is anyone else snacking? Not feeling hungry just yet, but probably will do a little snack at some point. All right. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the controversy with Daiya or Daiya. I know it's technically pronounced Daiya. It's one of those things that I like saying Daiya. But Daiya's new commercial, they released a commercial that features real beef burgers with Daiya cheese slices on top. And that's like the whole premise of the commercial is Like we know it's like so crazy that we would be doing beef burgers with vegan cheese, but that's what we're doing, and it's, I don't know what it's supposed to do. I think it's supposed to be a little shocking, get people talking. Obviously, Daiya is one of the oldest vegan cheese companies, one of the originals. I mean, it was, I talked about them in my vegan products of the 2000s video, but they were like the first vegan cheese that stretched and melted in the way that it does. But they did sell to a bigger company a few years ago, and I know that was kind of controversial. So, because their parent company is not vegan, I guess it's like a pharmaceutical company, which I guess also has food companies under it. What is Mike, you have to explain to me what the corn thing is. I see people saying that all the time in Sky's live streams. I'm missing the joke. V said you just watched Vegan Zombies video on the donut story, the betrayal sown for it is such a wild story. I can't wait to talk about it. Yeah, Mike, tell me what the corn thing is. They're trying to appeal to meat eaters who are lactose intolerant. Exactly. That's what Daiya is trying to do. The tagline for the commercial is 100% plant-based, even if you're not. The commercial came from the longtime agency TDA Boulder, which I guess is a, I don't know, famous advertising agency. Narration clearly identifies the provenance of the burgers and toppings, and while acknowledging that it's basically blasphemous and outside the marketing norm to intermingle the two, the brand suggests a truce with the tagline, "Enough controversy, let's eat." Trying to counter the bougie sentiment and elitist attitude of the plant-based industry and appeal to the mainstream, creatives decided to address the animal versus plant issue head-on, with full blessing from the brand, per Jonathan Schoenberg, TDA Boulder's executive creative director and partner. So they're definitely trying to stir up some controversy. In the commercial, the voiceover says, "We believe everyone should be able to enjoy plant-based cheese, even on a beef burger." I just think it's so silly because I don't, like, yes, of course there are plenty of people who eat meat and are lactose intolerant and buy vegan cheeses, but I don't think anyone was like not doing that because they're like, "Ooh, I don't know if this is for me." I've seen a lot of meat eaters online, influencers and whatnot, who will gladly buy, vegan burger or vegan cheeses and put them on their otherwise non-vegan foods. And yeah, and also, like, if they just had a commercial where it's like a realistic looking burger, like a Beyond Burger or Impossible Burger cooking on a grill with a slice of Daiya on top, I don't think anybody would have been like, "Oh, like that." They could have just pretended it was, you know what I mean? They could, I don't know. They were clearly trying to make a statement, and I think it was a little, dare I say, cheesy. Mike says mega lols. So the corn song, "A big lump of knobs that has the juice." It has the juice, basically ran with it, plus corn is heckin' dope. I can't say I know that song, Mike. I wish I did. I'm gonna have to look it up after this. V said vegans are put off, meat eaters just won't care. Seems like a very narrow clientele, just why. I totally agree. I don't think meat eaters will care about putting vegan cheese on their dead flesh burger. I mean, what's the point? Well, I think that the ones who are lactose intolerant, which are most people, let's be real, are buying and eating vegan cheeses, which is great. But like I said, I think they're already doing that. I don't think we need to be like, here's a, I don't think that they need to like condone that as a company. I'm also known as the Corn King, founder of the Corn Cult. Very cool. Are you accepting new members at this time? Said, okay, there is that. Yeah. If corns start flying around the YouTube vegan corn community, now you know who to blame on. LOLs. I do love popcorn. I love corn in general. I actually don't really eat that much of it, aside from popcorn, which I eat a lot. Yeah, so I just thought that was a little disappointing to see for Daiya, especially when they just came out with their new formulation, the oat milk formulation, which is so good and has been people have really been loving it, and it melts really well and it tastes good. It's definitely an improvement from the original Daiya recipe, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like um just trying hard. I mean, it's what is it? There's like a term for it in marketing, outrage marketing or something like that. It's a tactic to get people talking, get people angry. People are going to share the video, and I guess maybe some meat eaters will be like, "Oh, it's awesome that they did that," and then want to support Daiya. But I think a lot of vegans were really unhappy with Daiya when they sold out to the pharmaceutical company. And so maybe some vegans already weren't supporting them. I still buy Daiya, and so I was unhappy to see this. But I don't know. We don't have too many options. I do prefer them over Violife. I really like Follow Your Heart, but they're harder to find. Hey, Corn. Hey, Omar. Welcome. Hey, Bianca. Corn, I love that too. Hi, everyone. And wow, thank you. I do enjoy the new formula. Daiya is one of the few vegan cheeses available in my area. Right. They're like, you can pretty much find them in any supermarket chain, which is nice. They do anything to get people talking, morals be damned. And right. And I guess it's like, you could say, well, if it works and it gets more people to try vegan cheese, then maybe that's a good thing, I guess. Like, there's kind of no winning here. Daiya cheesecake is fire. I haven't had that in a really long time. Do you work for a vegan org? Is that for me? I do not. Hey, Omar. Follow Your Heart smoked Gouda slaps. I am not a fan of smoked flavors, and I feel like so many cheeses, so many vegan cheese offerings are like smoked this, smoked that. It's either like smoked Gouda or smoked. What's the other one that I see a lot? Gruyere? No, not Gruyere. I'm not really a fan of the smoke flavor. Paul said always wanted to try the Daiya cheesecake. You've never tried it before? I haven't seen it in a while in stores, but then again, I'm never looking for it. Let's see. But I don't know if all of you guys are joining from the US. I don't know where else Daiya is available. Is it like available in most countries? Maybe one day, Paul says. I'm from Argentina. Nice. Welcome, Yuri. And I have to say that even though we just have like 4 plant-based cheeses available, Not Co's is good enough for me to not care. Awesome. That and homemade versions. I am so curious to try more Not Co products. I guess I had seen their milks around for, the better part of the last year, but then they really caught my attention when they came out with the Kraft partnership in the US for Kraft mac and cheese. I talked about that in a Good Vegan News video back in December. And then I've started seeing their products everywhere. I tried their dinosaur chicken tenders, which I really liked. And I tagged them on Instagram, and they were like, we want to send you more products. So hopefully they're sending me stuff, which would be great to try more. I'm really curious to try the mac and cheese. But were they started in Argentina? I think they're based in Argentina, but they have a US company that's, I don't know if it's separate, but they have a separate Instagram account for sure. But yeah, I'd love to try more of their products. Happy to hear their cheeses are so good. One time I jumped into an open flame to get that authentic smoky flavor to the 3rd degree. Kind of hurt that. Yeah, that real authentic smoke. Yes, no smoked for me either. I decided this last night of eating some smoked hummus. Ugh. Yeah, it's interesting because I, as someone who did eat meat at one point, I associate that smoky flavor really with meat. And Paul, my boyfriend, has never eaten meat, but he still doesn't like it because it somehow like reminds him of meat too. But I know a lot of vegans really like it, so I'm not like, I'm not disparaging it, but I can find Daiya here in Hong Kong. That's awesome. Claudia is here. I'm from the Bronx. Is that a foreign country? Hi, Claude. Claude is Paul's mom. I think of her as my mother-in-law, even though she's not technically. Whole Foods brand vegan cheeses are out with a new recipe as well outside of grocery or discount stores. It's the least expensive. I have seen that one. I don't know if it's if they came out with something more recently, but I have seen, or I have tried the Whole Foods vegan cheeses before. They're pretty good. I would put them on a similar wavelength with a lot of the other ones. Steven's here. Hey, Steven. Wait, is that Stephen Hall? I think so. That's Paul's cousin. It's a family affair up in here, guys. A lot of love from Paul's family. I appreciate it. Carrie's here. Hey, Carrie. Welcome. Carrie joining from Australia. They started in Chile. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was Argentina. But they are popular here. Never tried their milk, but it's really cool that they collab with plenty of chain restaurants to develop vegan dishes. That is awesome. Hopefully they'll start doing that here. Extra being everywhere. Someone with the Yankees. Just sometimes 2 or 3 stores. Very cool that Paul's a lifelong vegetarian. He is. You can thank Claudia for that in the chat. Raising her 3 sons vegetarian. Hey, Tamara. Lost track of time, but got here eventually. Hi, all. Yay, Tamara. I'm so glad you're here. I have the new Daiya in my fridge. Scared to try it. Oh, the old one was so bad. For people who just joined recently, we were just talking about the Daiya commercial, the recent Daiya commercial, where the whole premise of the commercial is that they are cooking the Daiya cheese on top of a real beef burger, and that's the whole premise. It's kind of cringy, in my opinion. You have 4 vegan cheeses. That's 4 more than what stores in my town have. Yeah, seriously. In some stores, that is definitely true. Scott Walker was a vegan. Glad to catch you live. Me too, Green Planet. Thanks for joining. We have Daiya cheesecake in some stores, hardly any of the cheeses. I raised them as vegetarian, but they rebelled and became vegan. Haha, love that. Does that mean Paul's from the Bronx too? Yes, it does. He was raised in the Bronx. Then Daiya's obviously not a vegan company. Yeah, there's definitely some, it's one of those things that I guess we can like split hairs about. Like, are they technically vegan? The company that bought them isn't. And so I think a lot of vegans have boycotted them because of that. Vegan rolls are awesome. Paul's from Mount Vernon. Yeah, technically born in Mount Vernon. What can I say? I live in a big city. All right, guys, should we talk about the donut story? Now that I have you all here, I'm like, this story, I was up late reading about it. Let me know who has heard of the donut story, because some of you might already be familiar with it. I feel like I could make a whole video about this. Thank you, Carrie. Donut story's effed up. What's your opinion? No idea about the donut story. Haven't heard the donut. All right, you guys are in for a wild ride. Okay. Yeah, vegan zombie cover. I'm sure a lot of vegan creators are going to be talking about it. Hey, Annabelle, welcome from New Jersey. We got the tri-state area represented pretty well here. Okay, speaking of the tri-state area, so the donut story is that in Long Island, which for those not in the US is a part of New York, it's a borough of New York City, there were these 2 vegan establishments in this one. I think they were in one town or nearby towns. I think it was Huntington was technically the name of the town. So there was this vegan convenience store that just like sells all kinds of vegan foods, vegan baked goods, etc. And then there is a gluten-free vegan bakery also nearby, right? So these 2 businesses, like, they kind of course, sort of went hand in hand, or had like a, what's it called? Like a symbiotic relationship. The vegan convenience store carries other products from like local bakers. So they teamed up with this bakery to start carrying some of their vegan gluten-free donuts. What are the names of the stores? Cindy's Snacks is the convenience store. And what was the name of the other store. It doesn't really matter, but it might be easier for me to, if I just Google the savory, it'll come up. The Savory Fig. Okay. The Savory Fig was the name of the vegan gluten-free bakery. Okay. So Cindy Snacks starts carrying the vegan gluten-free donuts from the Savory Fig back in December, selling them to people who were coming into the store. People were buying them, eating them, etc. So they got a delivery recently. Cindy Snacks gets this big donut delivery from the Savory Fig, and one of the donuts has pink frosting and pink and orange D-shaped sprinkles, like D, the letter D sprinkles. And they're like, what the hell? Like, why does this one donut have D sprinkles on it? And why are they the same color as Dunkin' Donuts? So I want to give some context for people who don't live in the US. Dunkin' Donuts, it's basically a fast food breakfast place, and they predominantly, historically have been known for donuts, but they also have coffee and like breakfast sandwiches and stuff. Very not vegan friendly, although they did carry the Beyond sausage breakfast sandwich for a few years, but then they stopped. So these business owners of Cindy Snacks are like, what the hell? Like, this is really weird. Why would she send us a donut with just D's on it? So they reach out to the woman. What was the woman's name? Melissa, I think. Let me just get this correctly. Get this correct. Savory Fig. I think her name is Melissa. Let's just say her name is Melissa. So he reaches out to her, the owner of Cindy Snacks, and is like, hey, like, not accusing you of anything. I'm just wondering why these donuts have D sprinkles on them. Why would they have that? They look very similar to Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm not accusing you of anything. I just want to clarify, because we have people who shop here who have severe allergies to, dairy, eggs, and gluten, all of which are in Dunkin' Donuts. And so the baker responds is like, oh my God, no, like, no. Those aren't Dunkin' Donuts. Like, absolutely not. Like, 100% not. And he was like, okay, well, can you send me a link to where you got the sprinkles? Or can you send me a picture of the sprinkles? Just send me a picture of the container. I just want to be super duper clear. I've never seen vegan sprinkles like that before. So can you just send me a picture just to reassure me? I don't really feel comfortable selling these until I have confirmation. And then she was like, oh, well, I'm not home right now. And she kind of made some excuses. So then the next day, she's like, I'm still not home, but here's what they were. She sends a link to an Amazon listing for sprinkles. And you know how on Amazon, if you've bought something before, it will say last purchase. Well, it didn't say that on the screenshot she sent, which is suspicious. And basically what the screenshot she sent, it was just like alphabet sprinkles. It wasn't just D's. It was like all letters of the alphabet. And so she sends a screenshot, and then the guy from Cindy Snacks is like, that doesn't really do anything to calm my fears, to be honest, like, or to calm my fears. Like, these don't have any D's in them that are pink and orange, and these sprinkles aren't even vegan. So I guess Cindy Snacks ended up ordering those sprinkles just to compare. They were clearly not the same sprinkles. So at this point, the guy's like, it seems like these are Dunkin' Donuts. And the girl's like, no, they're not. Like, I would never do that. And so then Cindy Snacks, the owners, they end up ordering a gluten testing kit, like that people who have celiac, etc., use. So they ended up ordering this gluten testing kit, testing the donut, and it had a lot of gluten in it. So at the very least, it wasn't gluten-free, as she's claiming to be a vegan gluten-free baker, like dedicated vegan gluten-free bakery. People with severe allergies, patronize her bakery. So it's just become this whole scandal, because now people are like, those are Dunkin' Donuts. Like, those are definitely Dunkin' Donuts. They were the same style of donuts, like the fluffy brioche donuts. And now people have gone back and compared donuts like from the past, like for the holidays, she had a Christmas donut, and people have gone and looked at the Dunkin' Donuts Christmas donuts, and they're exactly the same frosting, same sprinkles, everything. And then there was a similar thing for Valentine's Day. She was selling these heart-shaped donuts with chocolate frosting, and Dunkin' Donuts had the exact same ones. So it seems like this woman who owned and operated a vegan gluten-free bakery was selling Dunkin' Donuts, essentially, which is fucking wild. Like the audacity, the delusion, like to think she could get away with that. And then that's also so dangerous, obviously, for people who have severe gluten allergies, egg allergies, dairy allergies. All of those things are in Dunkin' Donuts. So it's just become this huge scandal. But what's so weird to me is this woman, Melissa, who was the baker of the Savory Fig. She's been a baker for a really long time. She went to the Natural Gourmet Institute over 10 years ago, which I think is, I don't know if it's an all vegan culinary school, but it's where a lot of vegan chefs go for, like, they have a vegan program. And so there's that. And then also she was like a seemingly very passionate vegan. Like, I went to her Twitter, and she's like, it says in her bio, like, vegan, animal rights activist. She retweets a lot of stuff, like animal rights stuff from PETA, etc. So it's just really shocking that someone who seemed to genuinely be a vegan animal rights activist would do that, like even just like would pay for donuts that aren't vegan and then sell them to other vegans, trying to pass them off as vegan and gluten-free, obviously. So everybody is just outraged by this story, and it's like, it's beyond just vegans that are mad, because it's like anyone who has any food allergy being like, this is so dangerous, and, you know, could have really hurt, you know, could have caused some serious side effects in people. And I have seen on the, so you can see the Instagram post that Cindy's Snacks posted. Their Instagram is just Cindy's Snacks, where they have like a carousel of the whole story, a picture of the donut, the whole process, the text messages between them and Savory Fig, the gluten testing kit and everything. And then people in the comments are all weighing in and being like, I've had terrible experiences with her. She's a really shady business person. This is all legend, of course, but people saying that they've had their own really bad experiences where they ordered from her and then they paid her, showed up to pick up the order. She's like, we don't have that. I don't have any record of your order. They're like, well, here's my payment. She's like, well, I don't have the, you know, just seems like she was a pretty terrible business person, like overall. But to do that, and now I guess it's been reported to like whatever relevant health departments for that area, and it's being investigated. So it doesn't look good for her. Very, very shady. But yeah, that's the donut story. And I don't think it's going to be the last that we've heard of it. It's just super wild. Let me catch up on comments. I hope they get sued. It sounds like something bad's going to happen. I'm so interested in what's going on legally since the donut story broke. Supposedly the bakery that distributed them was reputable and well-loved. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, not to like make it about me, but Paul and I have been through Long Island a few times in the last couple of years. I'm like, that would be totally something we'd drive through, look up. Oh my God, there's a vegan gluten-free bakery. Great. And meanwhile, she's selling Dunkin' fucking donuts. And there was also people who were like, saying that the cupcakes she sold were clearly Rubicon cupcakes, which is like a well-known bakery that sells packaged cupcakes in stores. Like Daiya had an amazing product, and their old recipe, jalapeno Havarti, but may have switched to, I've never even seen that one. Ruined it. Cindy Snacks are pursuing legal action. Yeah, they're definitely taking action. Like it's definitely happening. Maybe if we're lucky, a Minu cat will show. I know we got one cat sighting earlier in the stream, which might be all we can hope for. Almost like Tim Hortons here. Yes, exactly. It's like Tim Hortons there. And I feel like if any of my UK subscribers are here, when I was in London in the fall, I said Greg's felt like the UK version of Dunkin' Donuts. So that would, yeah, Tim Hortons, Greg's, Dunkin' Donuts, all doing the same kind of thing. They ruined everyone's trust. My God, how could you be so effed up of a person? It's crazy because it's not even like it was a regular bakery that was just like, yeah, these ones are vegan, but they were like, it was a dedicated bakery. Violate from Follow Your Heart are good, especially the Parmesan from Follow Your Heart. Agreed. That's my go-to Parmesan. I think it would be negligence. I wonder if people are physically harmed after eating them. Oh yeah, so some people commented, or at least I saw one comment on the Cindy Snacks Instagram post that said that they used to get their donuts and eat them and they'd always get a reaction. And they didn't understand why. They thought it was maybe something else they had been eating because they were like, well, it couldn't be from the vegan gluten-free donuts. Did she even try the iconic D sprinkles in pink and orange as if people won't notice? Yeah, that's what's so crazy. She got really confident with that one. Like, if it's just a regular frosted donut, maybe, you know, she could get away with it for a few months, but the D sprinkles is like, yikes. Tim Hortons, they're all up over the upper US. Yes, there definitely are Tim Hortons in Maine. I know that. I do not have donuts. Low Raw. Hello, Low Raw. It's an interesting scam, Paul. I would love to hear her side of the story. Why did she do this? Good question. Very poor form indeed, if true. How can you celebrate International Women's Day while consuming dairy? Types have no seen. Yes, happy International Women's Day, everyone. I didn't realize that would be coinciding with my stream when I planned it. White Crow, who are we talking about? If you need some context, White Crow, we're talking about the donut story, the scandal that's been sweeping the nation. Need to embrace sketchy donuts, a world without changing climate. I agree, Omar, about the cars. Wish we had more forms of transportation in the US. I had not heard about the passings off of the state for giving her passionate veganism. It's even more bizarre story. That's exactly how I felt reading about it. Was like, once I was like, oh, she's like retweeting things from PETA. Like that was very strange to me. Maybe she got them in the trash. That's how they justified it. Yeah, someone commented and said that right across from her baking facility is a Dunkin' Donuts. And then someone was like, I really hope these weren't dumpster donuts. And then someone was like, well, that would explain why a lot of them looked really smushed. So very alarming. It's like that low-fat yogurt Seinfeld episode. I'm not familiar with it, but it sounds funny. Whatever the reason, just eat alone is unforgivable. Totally. What do you think this means going forward? Do you think there would be a stricter protocol for companies? Someone was saying that, I mean, I think things are really sketchy when it comes to food and food safety. Like, I think a lot of people are able to get away with a lot of things, but yeah, for sure, if you claim to be allergen friendly, you would think that there would have to be some type of regular testing. Like maybe there are certifications you can get that require you to spend money and whatnot. What a crazy story. Donuts make my brown eyes blue. 70s song reference. That sounds like a very silly song. Dumpster donuts, sheesh. Yes, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. But I'm glad we got to discuss that. Carrie, I don't know if you're still here, if any other Aussies are here, but there was a story in Veg News about Travis and Kourtney's trip to Australia and all the different places they ate at. It was like a whole Veg News story. Basically, I think they just like looked at their Instagrams and saw the places they ate at and were like, Travis and Kourtney's guide to Australia. But it looked like they went to some really good places. Carrie, you're still here. I don't know, Carrie, I don't know what part of Australia you're in. But they went to Smith and Deli in Melbourne, which is a vegan deli. They went to vegan Thai food in Sydney, Peace Harmony. They went to Dickie's in Brisbane, and they got chicken burgers. They also got a sticky duck toasty. They went to Gelato Messina in Bondi Beach. They went to somewhere in Sydney, or no, Surrey Hills. Wait, Bad Hombres in Surrey Hills, a vegan Mexican restaurant. That sounds delicious. Yeah, just it's kind of a silly little story. But I love that Travis and Kourtney do promote vegan eating to all of their followers. Snacks must have to have more serious protocols. She works with companies further. Yeah, people are saying like, the business should have insurance and I don't know, like a lot of things in place that would protect her and the business, but it doesn't seem like she did. Travis vegan, Claudia said. Yes, Travis is vegan. Kourtney seems more like a flexitarian. Debating technically not immoral. This gets into, are we getting into the freegan conversation? It's an interesting ethical conversation, but yeah, very interesting. It wouldn't appeal to me, but I think there's some interesting stuff to think about there. Man, my goodness, traveled all over Surrey Hills and Sydney. Yeah, I'm like, geez, they must have gone like, I don't know, maybe he was on tour or something. That's probably what it was. He's probably on tour. Omar vegan, don't glamorous fashion, even though the dairy itself is going to waste. Shouldn't be take precautionary principle. Okay, so what else? You guys, I was so I don't want to say shocked, but it really stood out to me, the response to the Palworld story in my Good Vegan News video. I want to say maybe half the comments were about the Palworld story, and just like such differing opinions. Like half the comments were like, this is so horrifying. I can't believe that they are encouraging abusing animals in this game. And then the other half of the comments were like, this isn't a problem at all. Like, I'm vegan. I play Palworld. It's funny. It's meant to be funny. It's supposed to be a parody of animal exploitation. And I've long been thinking about making a dedicated video about this topic in video games, because there's so many interesting things to explore there. And I think you guys would really enjoy that, even if you're not into video games. It's just like a very interesting topic with lots of different ethical questions. But it was really interesting to see how split people were on that one particular conversation, between, being horrified and being like, you're taking it way too seriously. It's not a big deal at all. I think it comes down to people's exposure. Like, I'm not a lifelong gamer. Paul is, and his reaction to violence in video games is completely different to mine, because I'm not used to it. So I think it stands out to me a little bit more. Produce not pills. I like your username. Are you asking what my take is on Palworld? Palworld a little disturbing. Agreed. I would enjoy it. Paul would enjoy it. Paul would be contributing to it, I think. Is it a parody of animal exploitation? Really? Is it? That's my question, Tamara. People were like, it's supposed to be a parody of Pokemon. Like it's poking, no pun intended, fun of Pokemon. But I'm like, that didn't come across to me. But then again, I'm not familiar with Pokemon. But I wasn't seeing like the humor. I don't know if Paul was. Paul says Palworld is definitely a little disturbing. Very interesting. Very interesting. This is the first time hearing of this. No, I mean, it's, yeah, see, even Paul thinks that a little bit. I don't think a video game based on abusing animal-like creatures is good for veganism. What we need to do is normalize veganism, make not exploiting animals harm. Exactly. There were, like I said, there were so many interesting comments, one of which, people were saying like, well, then why is violence against humans not a huge deal in video games, which a lot of people think it is. But someone pointed out violence against humans in real life is universally considered to be wrong, but violence against animals isn't. And so no one thinks a video game is actually like encouraging or well, people do, normalizing violence against humans, but there are just a lot of subtle ways that animals are exploited in games that I think would be interesting to explore. So more to come on that. What else? V said, I think it's weird vegans who are into MMA is so violent. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know many vegans who are into MMA, but that is very interesting. Based on using non-consenting people have no issue. I want to talk about Wayne Xiong's upcoming trial. I'm not familiar with that, V. What is that? Who is that, I should say. Very much based, might be precautionary measures and censure, but who wants to consume violent content in general and cheer on violence. It's weird. Yeah. See, I mean, there's so many different I have played games, that are so fucking fun that don't involve violence against animals or certain parts of the game don't, because most games I've played do have some sort of reference to animal exploitation, but I don't know if I would say it's lazy, but I think it's just like sticking to the norm or the status quo of like, this is just what we do in game. Like there's just violence. That's just what it is. But it's not the reason games are fun, in my opinion. He was charged for rescuing animals. Interesting. I don't know anything about this story. I would be open to discussing it though. Wayne, is this, let me see. American attorney and activist. Very interesting. Some hard initiative, University of Chicago. Here. Animal rights activist convicted. So his trial's coming up, it sounds like. You're more likely to go to prison for exposing animal cruelty than for committing it. California could send a man to prison for 3.5 years for rescuing factory farmed animals. Where does the movement go from here? Wayne Xiong, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, an attorney and leading figure in the animal rights movement, was convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor trespass and 1 count of felony conspiracy to trespass last week after 6 days of deliberation by a jury in Santa Rosa, California, about an hour north of San Francisco. Convicted. Damn. The case emerged from Xiong's role in helping lead 2 mass protest actions in 2018 and 2019, where activists removed 70 chickens and ducks from 2 Sonoma County factory farms. Very interesting. Activists took the animals to receive veterinary care and ultimately live in animal sanctuaries. This is really interesting. I definitely need to learn more about that before I can talk about it in an informed way. So he was convicted, but he hasn't been sentenced yet, it sounds like. I mean, it's definitely an interesting story, like an interesting moment, it seems like, in the animal rights movement. And hopefully we'll get more people talking about what he did and why he did it, and if it's right for him to be convicted in that way. He's been on every vegan channel possible already. Have you not heard of him? I'm not sure. Wayne's going to argue for dog not being things. He believes it's going to be pivotal for the movement if he gets them along. The dogs are not things, very least getting convo going is very interesting. It's been overstated. Most channels have not talked about him. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch many vegan channels. I've said that before. I don't really watch other channels in my niche. I just choose not to for a number of reasons. But I do like to think I keep abreast of these topics, and I haven't heard of this one. The profit corporations are more important than animal cruelty. Good for you, I read them last night. Very interesting. Have to look into all of that. Gil said favorite beetle. Thank you for asking. My favorite beetle is George. George is my favorite beetle. Paul's is Paul. No surprise. Those who have seen Paul, a lot of people say he looks like a young Paul McCartney, which I definitely agree with. I wouldn't say I really had a favorite beetle until I watched the what was it? The Get Back docuseries on Disney Plus, and then I George stole my heart. And George was also the original beetle to go vegetarian. He went vegetarian in the 60s, and then most of the others followed suit. Paul and Ringo still are, I believe they're vegan. But Paul is a close second. I love Paul McCartney as well. And I love Ringo. I mean, and I love John. R.I.P. But George is my favorite. Who is yours, Gil? Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? There was a story, a feel-good story. Beatles fans, please check out PETA's upcoming All Together Now tour. It's a speaking tour inspired by the Beatles. That's so cool. Claudia said Paul has never been vegan. I don't know if that's true, Claudia. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if we know for sure. Eat Saturday, from a handful of popular channels. I want to know if it's all right vegan shop for my family on a weekly basis. And some have food they eat is not vegan. How do I navigate this? Any advice? I don't know, I haven't been in that position particularly, but I'm assuming you are like the head of your household or the person who buys food for the family. And, that's a decision that you have to make. And if it's something you're not comfortable with, you maybe have to, talk to the people in your family. But, it's a difficult topic. I understand that. I think a lot of vegans would just say, just don't do it, just refuse. But I don't know your particular situation. That's not taking certain circumstances into account, which I totally understand. George is quietly cool AF. I've never been able to pick a fave. Haha, sorry. No problem. It's really hard to pick a fave. But yes, George has that quiet, just so endearing. And I just found myself having such a soft spot for him watching that series. Green Planet, can you avoid it? It's a good question. The McCartneys are vegetarian chefs. Linda's products contain dairy. Yeah, someone was just commenting on my channel about Linda McCartney's products. I don't know if we have any UK viewers here now, but I didn't know. I think Linda McCartney products came out in the early 90s, maybe. And at that time, that was a big deal in the UK, to even have vegetarian products. But I don't know if they're still around. And I don't know if it's some of them are vegan, some aren't. I think only one product has cheese in it. Interesting. It might be I don't know, a Morningstar or Quorn, where some of the products, where they're kind of transitioning to having more products be vegan. Paul's second wife is a vegan. For a second, I think I meant my Paul. What are you talking about? Paul's, is that Heather? Is that her name? Some are vegans, they're not in the UK. Okay, thanks, Tone, for clearing that up. Some are vegan, some not. I'm my 78-year-old mom's carer, and she gets to eat whatever she wants, whether I like it or not. That's what I mean. There are some very difficult situations like that. Watch those vegan guys shopping vlogs out of envy, and they've always warned about the burger that has mozzarella in it. Interesting. V-Bites, Heather Mills. Yeah, that was her name. So another a feel-good story that I saw this past week. Just Egg celebrates 500 million eggs sold since 2019 launch. So they have sold the equivalent of 500 million plant-based eggs, which is just so incredible. This landmark underscores the brand's pioneering role in revolutionizing the consumption of animal protein while promoting both human and planetary health. This is on vegoutmag.com. And Josh Tetrick, CEO and co-founder of Just Egg, said, "We started with a hope that one of the many tens of thousands of plants in nature would be able to scramble like an egg, and a team made up of scientists, engineers, and chefs from across the world turned that hope into one of the most innovative and impactful products on the market, in the market." That's what he said. "We're 500 million steps closer to a more sustainable food system, but we've got a long way to go." So I think this is just an amazing story. By crafting eggs from plants, Just Egg has mitigated the release of 87 million kilograms of CO2, conserved 8.3 billion gallons of water, and preserved 26,900 acres of land previously earmarked for soy and corn cultivation. I wanted them to talk about like how many potentially hens and male chicks were spared by this. I think that would be a nice number, but I don't think that they did. Tamara, they just reintroduced their mayo. Yes, that was a part of this story. Very exciting for people who loved their mayo. I used to buy their mayo a lot when it was available often, and then it went away and everybody was really disappointed. And honestly, I feel like I've kind of like adjusted to life without it. I haven't seen it back in stores yet, but I would definitely buy it again if I saw it. I normally buy Vegenaise, which I insist on calling Vegenaise because it's a much better name. And sometimes I buy the Hellmann's mayo, which is sold. It's like shelf stable, which is also pretty good. But I don't really like Just Egg. I was never a huge egg person. I always kind of was a little freaked out by eggs. So I've had Just Egg before. I think it tastes very realistic, but for me, that's not a great thing because I was never really a big egg lover. But for so many people who are, I think eggs is such a hard thing for a lot of people to give up. And Just Egg has been, I mean, just had a huge impact. And I think it's great that they're celebrating this milestone. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I think they're just testing on animals. Too. Get a glimpse of, maybe we can get a glimpse of Mina, one of our cats. Yeah, I don't know where she is. I like the Hellmann's, but it's Best Foods over here. What does that mean? Is that who makes it? Does it always cook like a scrambled? So they sell it in a squeezy liquid container, almost like a ketchup, and you squeeze or pour that into a pan and then you scramble it. But then they also sell it folded, like a folded egg kind of style that you'd get from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. And so you can buy it like the frozen folded versions of it as well, which I think would make it really convenient for making breakfast sandwiches and whatnot. I didn't even know how to use mayonnaise. Use it on sandwiches. I make aiolis with it. I would say that's what I do most often, like just mixing it with any herbs or spices to make like a dip for fries or chicken tenders, anything like that. I also use mayo in like a chickpea salad type of thing. Claudia, just go get the cat. Paul, maybe you can deliver, like just bring one down the stairs and then we'll do a little trade-off on the stairs. Because I don't think Paul wants to be on camera. Vegan for 6 months, a lifetime ahead of me. Yay, Mazda L, congratulations on the first 6 months of the rest of your life. Best Foods is a different name for the same product on the West Coast. That's so interesting. Hang on a sec. Did you say you have one? Baby?
Yeah, she went downstairs.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Ooh. Here's the big one. We had the little one at the beginning, and we have the big one now. Let's see how long she tolerates this. She really likes being held. Claudia, are you happy now? Sit in front of my computer. My cat always insists on sitting on the keyboard. Yeah, they would too if they were, at the proper level. But maybe it's better than ketchup for French fries. I do agree. I only found your channel this week. What is your name? Hello, my name is Marielle. I have it in the pinned comment, but it's Marielle. I'm a founder at Funky Mellow marshmallow creams are amazingly light and satisfyingly sweet. Is that in the US? Funky Mellow? Chunk cat out. She's a bit of a chunk. Yeah, she's a full-size kitty. Full size. We're all happy now. Chill kitty. I could look at her forever. Okay, let me see. Okay, Funky Mellow. So I haven't heard of Funky Mellow, I don't think. I was we talked about in the vegan products of the 2000s video that there was this product called Rice Mellow Cream, and it was like a vegan fluff type of thing, and it was so delicious. That have unfortunately gone away. But then there's also Dandies, but those are just marshmallows, vegan marshmallows. Sorry, side channel all about the cats. I'm full size myself. Love it. Full grown. Speaking of mayo, though, vegan mayo, I wanted to talk to you guys about oils, which has come up on my channel this past week. Basically, I don't know if you guys saw my interview with Dr. Barnard. I hope that you guys did. I hope you enjoyed it. I loved talking to him. I had been, in my mind, ever since I made the Aubrey Plaza video, the Got Milk video last year, I was like, I had like a dream in my mind of it'd be so amazing to talk to him. And I finally reached out to them and they said yes immediately. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's actually happening. But anyway, one of the big things I wanted to ask him about was oil, because so many of the whole food plant-based protocols and the doctors like Dr. Greger, Dr. McDougall, T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Barnard, etc., the recommendation or the regimen is like very, whole food, plant-based, no oil, and oil seems to get, I don't know, like kind of villainized. And so, thanks, Zach. Congrats on getting the interview. Carrie, our cats are not vegan, unfortunately. One of them is on a special diet, so they both have to be on it. Have tried vegan foods before and it didn't go well. But I would be open to trying more in the future. But right now they have some health issues. They're on special diets. Approved in Whole Foods, Austin, Texas. Are we talking about the marshmallow cream? Didn't Dandies come out with the fluff? I don't know, but that's interesting. I never understood the controversy around oils among vegans. If you want to use it, cool. If you don't like it, don't use it. Funky Mellow is a cream form, not little chunks. So yeah, so I really wanted to ask Dr. Barnard about that, because I feel like I hear it most often described or recommended to not consume oil in terms of weight loss, which for a large part of the American population, like they might have health issues associated with their diets or being overweight. So I understand why it's no oil. But I did ask him about it and he said it was a good question. And, we talked about like the high calorie factor. And then he talked about how it's like a whole, in olives, you'd eat olives whole. How many olives could you actually eat? Well, now you're just pressing out the oil and then you're consuming a lot more of it. And it's a refined food. And then he also talked about how oils really mess up a woman's hormones, which I haven't heard much about. But I had some interesting comments, some from you, Carrie, of things to look into. And yeah, I'm just curious how you guys feel about that. Because to me, I'm like, that feels for me like we as vegans, we give up a lot of stuff. And I'm like, now you want me to give up oil too? I'm like stomping my feet about it a little bit. Oils aren't good for your arteries either, though, for sure. Like, obviously, eating an excessive amount of oil or eating excessive amounts of deep fried foods, not going to be good, especially like if they're high in saturated fats, they're going to raise your cholesterol levels. But in terms of like using olive oil to saute my broccoli rabe and garlic, or even like putting butter on my popcorn, I don't know. I'm not convinced yet, but I'll look more into it. But I am very curious where you guys stand on it, because I saw some differing opinions, I guess, in the comments. Oil avoided, haha. But I'm nice, Mike. Oil is very bad. I believe Dr. Barnard. Here's the interesting things for being open about it. Thoughts on processed food, especially how the term is used to justify being anti-vegan. Yeah, that's something else that if I had more time, I would have liked to ask Dr. Barnard about, but I kind of feel like I know what he would have said about processed foods. For me personally, I would say I eat a balance of whole plant foods and also processed foods, vegan junk food. I actually remember hearing Miyoko say in an interview once, which I really liked. She was like, whole plant foods and like super healthy foods are really good for our bodies. But what did she say? She was talking about butter in particular. She was like, but a nice baguette with some wonderful butter and a glass of wine can just be really good for the soul. And I was like, yes, I love that. I agree with that so much. But also, Jet, I'm not sure if you saw the video where I reacted to the YouTuber Quook's attempt at going vegan or doing a vegan diet for a week. He talked about how he didn't want to eat any mock meats or processed plant foods that week. But then he went through his cabinets and he was like pulling out all these like protein powders and protein bars and protein puddings that were not vegan. And, I talked about in that video how there's this like double standard, like omnivore diets are allowed to have a lot of processed foods, but vegan diets, need to be pure. Otherwise, people will criticize them, even though most people who eat standard American diets also eat a lot of processed food. And he ended up responding, actually. He ended up commenting and messaging me on Instagram. We had a little conversation about it. He was really awesome about it. Keep trying vegan cat foods. There are more brands and more options now. Yeah, I definitely am willing to look into it more, try it again. Who else? I don't know. Wait, let me see. Recats being vegan while they're obligate carnivores, lab cultivated meat is becoming more popular would be I totally agree. That's I'd say the biggest reason that I'd be excited for lab grown meats is as it pertains to pet food, specifically cat food. I'm underweight all my life. Prefer eating no oil, but I don't avoid it like the plague. Totally understandable. Annabelle, it's promising. No Meat Athletes podcast just discussed this the other day, the topic of processed foods. It's conflating processed vegan food similar to nut butters in processing level with junk food. It's stupid. That's too bad. But that's not vegan having cats. That's not vegan. If anything, it's a form of speciesism. I don't know if I agree with that, but both of our cats are rescued. And I will say we absolutely love our cats, but it wasn't really our decision to rescue them. They were kind of like, it wasn't us who made the decision, but we were happy to have them and take care of them. Oil-free is the best way to be. I don't know how to cook without oil, so I've always covered my ears to the whole debate. Yeah, there was a few weeks ago when we ran out of olive oil. And so we were like oil-free, not really by choice for a couple weeks before we got more olive oil. And I didn't love it. I didn't love it. Especially, it was interesting. Like, I made broccoli rabe one night. I love making broccoli rabe sauteed with some garlic and usually olive oil and a little salt. And I made it without. And it was just like a very different experience. Like, the taste was completely different. I felt like it didn't like necessarily bring out the flavors of things as much. My plant-based diet is so bad. A little bit of oil is the least of my worries. I totally get that. Totally relate to that. No butter for you, soup Nazi voice. Let's see. Since cats suffer from severe overpopulation, domesticated is best for humans to rescue them as opposed to being left outdoors, which is very dangerous to them. I agree. Take a look at actual health outcomes. Weird, the term processed foods has become a slur, especially against vegans. Totally agree. It's like a dirty, dirty word. At Pig's Dream, hello, Pig's Dream. Cute profile picture. We just read the statement. All changes. Case. Agreed. No discussion of animals as property. Not justifying what is the most pet food, using whatever's left over for the animals anyway. Just dropped. Sorry. Good news is about weight. The legal impact is anecdote read vegan cats. We've had 4 cats in our care over the years. They all enjoy the brands Ami and Benevo and have good health. That's really good to know, V. Thank you for sharing. I'm curious what your relationship is like with your vet. Do you know, how was your vet about that transition? Like, because I feel like I wouldn't feel comfortable doing the transition unless we're like all on the same page and can like do testing to make sure everything's good, and the vet would have to be on board with that. Hello, Bo. Welcome. Should read a book called The Pleasure Trap by Doug Lisle and Ellen Goldhamer. I wonder if those are the same people, same authors who wrote like all the other trap books. I feel like there's a lot of books about traps. Even Dr. Barnard has The Cheese Trap, which I read. I think it's largely byproducts of the meat industry. Horses using for racing are oftentimes slaughtered when they're old and used for companion animal food. That's too bad. I mean, that's horrifying, obviously. There's no legal impact. Animal rights will not be discussed in court. Just a reminder to thumbs up the live stream so we can get the good vegan word out there. Thank you for the shout out, Paul, or for the reminder. It's funny, like, I don't really know I know with videos how thumbs up impacts videos and being shown to a wider audience. But with live streams, I'm like, does that make the live stream pop up on more people's pages while it's live or after it's live? Cooking without oil is pretty easy. You can use water or sauces instead. Just need a good nonstick pan, which I don't have. Tell me what you guys use for nonstick pans. I have an always pan. The nonstick wore off after like 6 months. And that's really, yeah, we don't have any great nonstick pans, but we also don't want like the toxic ones. You know what I mean? I guess Friday needs to be, it's not effective. Are we still talking about the same case, legal case, or is this a different one? Annabelle, thank you. Almost forgot. Thank you, Annabelle. Food, natural diet anyway. Feed them vegan kibble. Yeah, there was a podcast episode I listened to a few years ago that had a vegan veterinarian on, and she was saying that when people are like, it's not natural for cats, for example, not to eat meat, it's like, well, nothing about this is natural. It's not natural for them to like be in a house and like me like picking them up during a live stream and getting fed at twice a day and drinking out of a fake water, a water fountain. So that's just something to think about. That's we're not pretending that this is, natural. Annabelle says, I'm not oil free, but sometimes I saute veggies in veggie broth. I have heard people say that. That sounds like it would add a lot of flavor. Definitely a good tip. Corn oil. Ariel is truly the George of vegan creators. Wait, that makes me want to cry. That's so sweet. What an honor. I have green pans. Okay, Tamara, I have a green pan too. Do they have PFAs on them? I have a green pan that I've had for a long time. I feel like with these non-toxic cooking pans, like the green pan and the always pan, you have to take care of it like to such a specific, like to such a T in such a specific way that if you mess up once, then it's like the nonstick is gone forever. And that's what happened to us. That's okay with us feeding vegan food, but advise caution and recommend normal canned cat food as treats. Also test their urine pH regularly and monitor water intake. Okay, that's great, V. Thanks for letting me know. And I'm glad that, everyone's on board and that sounds like they're in excellent care. Annabelle says, sadly, cats physiologically cannot be vegan. Dogs can, though. Brands like Petaluma and Paco have amazing dog food. Yeah, see, it's so interesting. I've heard, different topics or a lot of different takes on this topic. The vegan vet that I listened to on that podcast said cats have nutrient requirements, not ingredient requirements. And so if we can give them the nutrients that they need without meat, then she says that was okay. That's just what one person said. I thought that was an interesting way of looking at it. Apparently, if you give a thumbs down while smiling to someone for driving poorly, you can really induce a lot of rage. That's one of my favorite road rage things that I've heard people say, that like instead of the middle finger, instead of honking, instead of yelling, it's either just like this or it's just like, like that really would enrage someone. Like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. I'm not going to try any of it in this crazy world we live in, but let me know how that goes if you do. If you had to only use one utensil for the rest of your life, would you pick a fork or a spoon? Excellent question, especially within the context of my channel. I think I would say a spoon. God, that's so bad. I'm such a bad forkable host. I love spoon. Big spoon, though. It has to be a big spoon, like a big soup spoon. God, I love big spoons. Because I can pick things up that I would pick up with a fork with a spoon, but I couldn't pick up like soup with a fork. So I think it would have to be a spoon. Terrible. Doing shame to my channel name. Spork. Dr. Andrew Knight has a lot of info. Wait, I lost that comment. On vegan cats and dogs. Okay, I'll definitely have to look into him. Let's see. Annabelle, provide a peer-reviewed source for your claim about cat physiology. Guys, this is one of these hot topics that, things can get heated here. Just all charges, drop, no discussion, and that's it. Wayne doesn't get to challenge animals as property or right to rescue. Okay, I see. We're talking about the same case. Claudia says, spoon. Dogs and cats can be vegan. They have prey drive. They can both. I will tell you that we have had some non-vegan events occurring in our household involving the cats, or specifically one of the cats, and mice, which has been very unpleasant for us to deal with. Thankfully, it hasn't happened in a long time. Knock on wood there. It's not a fun thing to deal with as vegans. Dogs and cats can never be. Okay, I heard that. Use a carbon steel pan. It's close enough to nonstick if you take care of the seasoning and use it correctly. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You gotta take care of it. I want a low maintenance pan that's also nonstick, that's also non-toxic. Is it possible? I don't know. My cats couldn't go a day without fish. That's interesting. Ours do not like fish. The driving thing is funny. They need the nutrients, the chopsticks. Totally spoonable. Doesn't have quite the same ring. By the way, you guys, I'm very upset about this. I haven't even told Paul about this. I went this past week to see if I could register for a new Gmail account for Totally Forkable, because I'm getting to the point where I just want, when I reach out to people or when I just want to have a separate Gmail account for Totally Forkable. I found out that someone already took that Gmail username. I can't imagine that it doesn't have to do with me. Feels a little bit trolly, I have to admit. And I'm not very happy about it. So if anyone's watching and that was you, consider giving it back, because that's really obnoxious that someone took it. Yes, I maybe should have thought of this years ago, but anyway, someone else has totallyforkable@gmail.com. Pick a spoon. You can pick a spoon. You can use a spoon for everything. Exactly. Now I have one massive non-stick pan that I use for everything. I forget what it's called, but it's very, very durable. Great for tofu curries and rapini and garlic too. Yum. How do you eat spaghetti with a spoon? That's a good question. That is, well, I guess you'd have to switch over to like penne or something. You'd have to make that sacrifice. You have to switch to elbows. Exactly. Twirl the spaghetti around the spoon. Chop it up with this. I love that we're having a conversation about how to hypothetically eat spaghetti with a spoon. Cat has murdered at least 3 little snakes that got in the house. Oh yeah, we had a snake. We had a baby snake once. We tried to save it, and I think that it wasn't saved. Totally Forkable 1212. What does that mean? It's one bright spot in this. Thank you for mentioning the vegan vet. Fish are not pills. I'm not familiar. Any vegan cat food. Look into it more. So developing our cat needs vegan diet. Do you rather eat spaghetti with a spoon or soup with a fork? I mean, I guess with soup you could always just drink it, right? You could always just tip the bowl, twirl the fork on the spoon, remove the fork, then eat the spoon. Yeah, but that's cheating. We said no fork at all. Plant-based kibble for cats is a complete kibble. Put the soup in a cup. Can you add a period or underscore for the G? Yeah, I might have to do that. But it's just, when I started Totally Forkable, I was so happy that I got I got it on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, just Totally Forkable. My YouTube custom URL is Totally Forkable. So I would love to keep it the same, but I might just have to do that. Now someone's gonna go and take totally.forkable, totally underscore forkable. Let's see what other stories I had, guys. Oh, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this, on the topic of, and I'm sorry that this is only going to apply to people in the US, but please feel free to share your experiences in your countries. But do we think Trader Joe's and Whole Foods have had less vegan options over the last, let's say, 5 years? Or have they had more? Is it about even to what it was? Because I sort of feel like there's been less, and I've seen a lot of people complaining about things that used to be available at Whole Foods that aren't anymore ever since Amazon took over. I think a lot of changes happened then. And Trader Joe's, I've seen a lot of people complain about Trader Joe's products going away, but then again, Trader Joe's is constantly taking products away. Like, that's just what they do. They introduce a product, they get everyone to love it, and then they take it away. And maybe they bring it back the same time next year, or maybe they don't. But it's an interesting topic of conversation. On the Trader Joe's subreddit, I've seen posts about this, and people's reasonings and opinions are always kind of interesting, because it's like the reasons some people give are not that sound. They're like, well, veganism isn't as like, it's not as trendy as it once was. There's things like that. And I'm like, well, that's not acknowledging the fact that other people eat vegan products aside from just vegans. Like, even if there are fewer vegans, vegetarians still eat vegan products, non-vegans or meat eaters eat vegan products. Meat eaters eat Daiya cheese, apparently. Let's see what you guys think. Claudia thinks Whole Foods has more. Trader Joe mama. I'm not sure what that means, more or less. Like the Whole Foods store or brands within the store. I'm talking about, I guess, brands within the store. Whole Foods, I will say though, the Whole Foods brand, and I don't know if this is new, but I really appreciate that they do have a dedicated vegan designation on their packaging, which I didn't know until I bought their Worcestershire sauce a few years ago. And this guy like showed it to me. I was like, well, I have to check if it's vegan. Let me check the ingredients. And he goes, no, it's vegan. See. So I do appreciate that. Zach says less, but still lots of good options. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I'm not complaining. It's not like there's not enough, but I just wonder. Let me actually. Speaking of Trader Joe's, I was very happy to see this last time I was there. Trader Joe's has a vegan pepperoni now. It's not my favorite vegan pepperoni I've ever tried, but I mean, it's a new product that they launched, and I bought it so that they would know. This is what it looks like. It doesn't have a great texture. Kind of has a little bit of like a bologna texture, you know? Or it's like too soft. I've had other vegan pepperonis that are more chewy that I prefer. Actually, okay, more talk about vegan cats. Let's see. I have to this one out since I live in rural New Zealand. Oh no, Gil. Well, tell us what the vegan options are like near you. Trader Joe's has some good cupcakes for a short time. Yeah, they've taken away. That's the thing. They used to have a lot more vegan baked goods. And people on Reddit were like, now they just have the fucking banana bread. Enough with the banana bread. I don't want the banana bread. Where's the other stuff that they used to have? +1 journals on Guardian reported health outcomes of vegan cats and dogs, separate journals versus their non-vegan counterparts. Interesting. I will definitely look into that. The Daiya ad with the beef in it was very interesting. Yes, Annabelle, we talked about that earlier in the stream. You have to show how eating nutritionally completely has top food harmful for cats. Vegan options at shops here in Spain are very few and far between. That's too bad. Say what? I'm sorry to hear that. Are there what about the restaurants? Are there better options in the restaurants? Jet, thank you so much, Jet. Thank you for the donation. The Rayleigh's normal grocery store we go to seems to have the same amount of vegan options as Whole Foods. The only real difference I've seen is that Whole Foods labels them overtly as vegan. Yeah, interesting. Jet, I wish I had a little special thing to do when someone donates, like Sky does on Vegan, of course. Maybe I'll work for that in the future. Maybe we'll get a fork, like a tuning fork, and I hit it against my hand or something. Or brush my hair with a regular fork. I don't know. There are vegan options in grocery stores where I am, but I guess this could vary by city or town. I just wish they wouldn't scatter them throughout the store. It's like a treasure hunt. Yes. So we used to have a shop right near us where we lived a few years ago. And I loved that they had a separate section of the store that had all the kind of health. It was like a little mini health food store within the grocery store. And I loved it because I would just go there, get most of my stuff there. And then I'd maybe go to other parts of the store for other things. And then they dispersed that. And I've seen that happen in a couple stores. They disperse it throughout the store. And I guess you could say for the general public, that's better because they're more likely to stumble upon the vegan products. But obviously I prefer having them all centralized. Do you have a favorite pasta noodle shape? Great question. I've really been liking, wait, I think we just got some. Let me show you. was trying to grab my little rascal again. She started a whole conversation in the live stream. She didn't even realize. I really like the little, is it orecchietti? The ones that are like little, like they're kind of shaped like this. I really like those. I've been into rigatoni lately. What else? I think those are my favorites right now. Let me see. What are some other pasta shapes? There was this one we discovered, Mafalda. It's like these little ripples. We eat a lot of brown rice pasta. We just like the texture of it better than gluten pastas, but the rice pasta we get has a great, they have a lot of great textures. The Mafalda is one. What about you guys? What's your favorite pasta shapes? Let's see. Whoa. Okay, got behind on comments. Tamara, you make your own pepperoni. I feel like you've told me before, Tamara, but can you remind me if you use a recipe? But I know how specific your charcuterie needs are, LOL. Yes, Tamara has been around long enough to remember my video reviewing the Renegade salami, which turned out to be weirdly phallic. I mean, I was reviewing rolls of salami, so there were some interesting comments on that one. But I do feel like I need to start making my own, Tamara. I need to join you in that venture. I'm not in the US. TJ seems to have tons of offerings. I'm so jealous. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's easy to complain when we're like, they used to have this and they took it away. But it's like, we're really lucky to have Trader Joe's. That's an animal overpopulation crisis. Same with rescuing companion animals. 100. Let's see. Definitely lots of interesting. I'm not going to respond to every cat comment because I feel like you guys are more just talking to each other, and I've already stated my opinions on the fact or on the topic. How do you make your own pepperoni? Let's see. Tamara uses seitan. Let's see. I mean, people can adjust a lot of animal products. It just happens over time. It's not meant for us. Definitely more products, I think. So produce not, I keep wanting to call you like producer pills or something. Produce not pills. You think there's more products? Dinglehopper? What's that, Zach? Well, Tan, what do we think about breeding animals or all forms of breeding? Bad. Good question. I was pretty enraged by the farmed octopus thing. Glad to see Washington State isn't allowing it. Oh my gosh, that's great. Glad to see, like octopi seem to be the thing that's like waking a lot of people up, or a lot of people have been able to make connections about the octopus topic, especially after that Netflix documentary. Paul says fusilli. Is it an L sound or a Y sound? It's his favorite pasta. Human reading as well. Short pasta is better than long pasta. Interesting. Rigatoni and linguine. Linguine is a shape that we don't buy often. We tend to get just regular spaghetti or casserecci, I think, which is like angel hair. You're asking cats who other restaurants compliant with veganism. You sent me a pic of a restaurant menu he went to with a large section labeled vegan with cheese, cream, and honey included. That is so... I hate when people are just like, vegan means whatever I want it to mean. Vegan means I want to make money. And so I'm going to deceive people like the chick with the Dunkin' Donuts. Topic of cats in the vegan space is always thorny. Yeah, there's been a few Facebook groups I've joined where they're like, it's usually like eggs, like backyard eggs. Ooh, everybody's talking about you. Everybody's talking about you. Brat. Okay, let's see. The What I Tasted channel just posted a couple of vegan pep videos. Oh, pepperoni. Ooh, okay. I'll have to check those out. This stream must be the final boss for English language learners. Is that because of what I'm saying or because of what the chat's saying? Squiggly pasta. Love it. Bucatini. Is bucatini the one that's like, it's like long noodle shape, but it's hollow? Postal is a social unicorn struct. Constantly staying on brand, Mike, with the corn references. I'm down with any brown rice pasta, same, except I don't really like the Trader Joe's brown rice pasta. We like Jovial. That's our favorite brand. Dinglehopper's my response when you mentioned combing your hair with a fork from classic Disney film. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't catch that reference, especially being named after The Little Mermaid. I'm just kidding. I'm not. But when I was younger, when people used to ask how to pronounce my name, I'd be like, it's like The Little Mermaid, but with an M in front of it. Except it's technically pronounced Ariel, I think, not Ariel. So then people will be like, Mariel. And I'd be like, nope, that's not right. Let's see. That's why I don't trust non-vegan restaurants. Unfortunately, that's a big fear of mine as well, especially when things, like I've seen a lot of vegans say this, now that things are becoming more and more realistic, like vegan meats and like the vegan versions of things, it's going to become harder and harder to trust restaurants, I think. Shy Kitty, yeah, she went upstairs to hang out with her daddy. Why do people justify backyard eggs and honey? Like, why do they even want to eat them? I don't know, it just seems gross. I agree. Once I like have animal products out of my life, I kind of just like don't want them in my life at all. Didn't complain too nice. Oh, that's nice to smart agree with vegan can and dog diets. There's no evidence of negative outcomes and benefits. Sample size is needed. Yeah, I think the topic of vegan pet foods hopefully will become more studied and discussed. You're often talking so fast. Oh no. I guess when I'm reading the comments, I'm going through at like 2x speed. Sorry if anyone's having trouble understanding. I'm doing chipmunk speed. You guys recall I did been doing chipmunk speed editing in some of my videos when I'm like reading a long thing. I'm gonna have another pepperoni because it's here. We're supposed to be. Can we just do a stream where we learn the pasta shape names? LOL. Good idea. Jet says Fusilli. Is that really how you say it? Fusilli. Huh. Do people shorten your name to L? No, I wish. When I was younger, I hated my name when I was younger because I just wanted to have a normal name. I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to have a normal name. It was hard to spell. It was long. People would mispronounce it all the time. I really wanted to be called Mary, or I wanted to be called Elle. And as many of us know, you can't give yourself a nickname, so nothing ever stuck. Let cat be extant. What? Did you mean extinct? Mina will not hear of that. I get it now because Marielle's speaking so fast. All right, I'm gonna try and slow it down, guys. That's our companion. Very hard time surviving in the wild. Just happen to be carnivores. Totally agree, Tamara. Steve is too normal. My name is actually Vivian, but people think it's long and just call me V. They think Vivian is long. I mean, I guess it's got 3 syllables, but it's an easy name to say. Not if your first name is Scuba. Extinct. You did mean extinct. All right. Guys, I got these snacks a couple weeks ago at our local health food store. I was so excited. They had this flavor and a pizza flavor. These are spicy street taco stuffed snacks. Like, how good do these look? They look good, right? They're vegan. Unfortunately, The pizza ones were not very good. But I'm going to try these just because we bought them. And who knows, maybe by some miracle, the taco ones will be better. Can't get these open. Please. Okay, we did it. These ones smell a little more interesting, but they basically look like shredded wheat. Is that what they look like? They look like some type of breakfast cereal. They're so weird. I'm going to show you guys the inside. They're like stuffed with flavor. And yet they don't have much flavor. And the texture's weird. And they're supposed to be like protein snacks, I guess. They have 8 grams of plant protein per serving. So basically, I got the pizza flavor and I ate a bunch of them. I was like, I don't know about these, And then I got so uncomfortably full and I wasn't expecting it because I was just like eating snacks. Like most snacks aren't that filling, like bags of chips. And I got like so full, like unpleasantly so. And I realized it was these snacks. So unfortunately, these were a miss for me. I was so excited to see a new vegan snack. They look like they would taste like combos or something. Like, ooh, like stuffed snack, but they're just kind of like dry and like not good. Not great. Mm. Mm. Never seen those snacks. You get so many nice things on the Atlantic coast. Do we? I guess so. Maybe that's true. Maybe we get better stuff. We are very lucky that we have a couple of wonderful health food stores near us that often have really good snacks. Because that's another thing, going back to the Whole Foods topic. I just feel like Whole Foods, like they're not taking chances on new products anymore. So it's just like the same snacks every time you go. They've really increased their like keto, paleo snack offerings. And I think kind of deprioritize the vegan snack offerings. So I was happy to see these, but unfortunately they're not great. But I will show you guys something new we tried that are so good. Spaceballs, lesser evil, pizza flavor. These are good. I had tried their cheese, like their interstellar cheddar balls before, and then they came out with a pizza flavor. How good do those look? So, highly recommend those. Steve said those look good. I can't wait to end my fast. How long are you fasting for, Steve? I'm sorry, that's probably hard to watch me chomping. Never had protein snacks that taste good. Same. I also talked about that in the 2000s vegan products video because I just realized I can hear myself upstairs on Paul's stream. It's like delayed. It just distracted me for a second. But I was saying that in the 2000s, a lot of the vegan products were just like, they were just trying to be like delicious and they weren't trying to be healthy. And now it seems like all the new vegan snacks that come out, they also have to be like, have some health benefits, like vitamins added and protein added and things. And it's just like, I just want to crunch into some cheese balls, you know? I don't need them to be healthy. Probably would have tasted better if they were made from corn. These are made from corn, I think. Yeah. Organic whole grain yellow corn. And they do taste better. So Mike, you're onto something. Protein snack. That we could not call each other names. I agree. V, thank you so much. Thank you so much, V, from Hong Kong. Oh my god, that's so stupid. I'm sorry, Paul. I just used our fork to brush my hair. V, I have a whole video dedicated to my vegan backstory, but I will tell you the cliff notes. But I tried going vegetarian when I was 13. It didn't work for me at that time. I didn't know what I was doing. My parents weren't supportive. It only lasted a few months. And then when I got to college, I went vegetarian like my first week of college because I met some people who were vegetarian, and they were really encouraging, and they were really like selling me on it. They were like, it's so easy to do and it's great. And they were just like walking billboards, I guess, for vegetarianism. And it was so much easier that time because like my college had great vegan or vegetarian and vegan options. And I had people around me who like helped me, which was a huge part. And then a year later, I read the book Skinny Bitch. Not sure if you're familiar with it. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. And that encouraged me to go vegan, or at least eat a vegan diet. And I talk about this more in that video, that I may not have, now consider myself like truly vegan at that time because I stopped. In like 3 years later, I went back to eating eggs and dairy for a number of different reasons. And then 5 years after that, I went back to being vegan. So that was 2015. And yeah, there's a lot more detail to it than that. But that's just kind of the broad overview. But it was definitely a journey for me. I feel like some people make fun of that word or that concept, but I honestly think it's a journey for most people. And yeah, so that's what my story was. It was a mixture of different things. Definitely got really introduced to the topic by Skinny Bitch, which was a yes, Carrie, journey. Why does Sky hate that word? I feel like it's like an inside joke on Sky's channel, journey. Everyone's always like, journey. Chuckled with the word journey. Journey. See? What is it? Is it like drink anytime someone says journey? I'll drink to that. I said it. But it was a journey. And Skinny Bitch was a big part of it, even though it was a book about like getting skinny on a vegan diet. It really was more of a book about veganism. If you read it, it's an animal rights book with a lot of other crap surrounding it. So that was definitely a big part of me making that connection. And then sadly, it didn't last forever at that time. And then in 2015, what made me go back is I had a coworker who talked about some of the standard practices of the dairy industry, and specifically how the dairy cows are artificially inseminated. And I was like, I was like, is that really true? Is that really what happens? I was kind of skeptical, I was like, oh, God, vegans, And then I went and I looked into it and I was like, oh yeah, fuck. It's true. And and then I made the change, and I knew that time I was like, this is forever. Zach, thank you, Zach. You know what we have to do. Wait, I did that side last. I'll do this side. It's not good. It's not good to brush curly hair because it'll get frizzy, but I love just like inadvertently started a donation tradition, which I now have to do every time. Let's see what you guys say about all this. It's because we make fun of lifting vegan logic. Okay. Journey, because the ex-vegans always say journey, so it's cringy. Interesting. all the stereotypical videos of my blank journey, so many journeys. I think my video is called My Vegan Journey. Lifting vegan logic totally memeified the word. Okay, so is he in on the joke or is he who you're joking about? It was why I'm no longer vegan videos always talk about the journey back to animal foods and clothes and stuff. Interesting. Okay. Sounds like an interesting book, Skinny Bitch. We'll check it out. Yes, definitely go into it with there's a lot of like fat phobic, fat shaming, very harsh language in it. So that is the one thing I will say. But it's definitely an interesting book. Lifting Danny logic. We then see you soon. Pork. Zach, congratulations. Need a dedicated fork. I do need a dedicated fork. Honey, it's time for lunch. You know, like I don't think Paul cares actually, but I became a vegetarian at a Red Lobster restaurant when I was 15, vegan at 17, and I never went back. Interesting. Oof, I can only imagine what it was about Red Lobster, seeing all those lobsters in a tank, I'm guessing. Let's see. Been over 10 years for you, Tamara, being vegan. We make fun of him. Good to know both. I feel like he's in on it. Yeah. Okay. Talking about lifting vegan logic and journey. No, why would we make fun of lifting vegan logic? Danny's a legend. Video of a cheerful baby goat that bluffed me into thinking it was a lamb. And the explanation of what cognitive dissonance is made me plant-based. That sounds like was that a video or was that a real life experience? Oh my God, Zach, that makes me want to cry. Good job. The lobsters would thank you if they could talk. I agree. This happens to a lot of people. I feel so bad for the little guys when I see them at the supermarket. Yeah. There was a meme a few years ago because there was that movie, I think with Sandra Bullock, where she's like blindfolded or something. I don't know if it was Sandra Bullock. It was some actress blindfolded. Everybody was talking about it. And then someone made a meme of like, there was like a famous still from the movie where she's like holding her kids and she's blindfolded and they're blindfolded and they're like going somewhere. And then there was a vegan meme of like that meme of like her with the blind. It was like me walking through the meat section of the grocery store. And like that literally, like sometimes I literally go like this. It's very unpleasant. Thank you. Heart Wolf videos. Bird Box. That's what it was called. I never watched it because it, like, I don't know. It was like a horror movie, I guess. Not my style. Jet, thank you. Thank you, Jet. Here we go. You should get a straight hair wig on with a mannequin that you fork when you get a super chat. How about I comb one of my cat's tails or something? Get them involved. Would that be exploiting them? Exploiting them for donations. I think it's great that we've landed on this. Let me do the ding too. I gotta do both things, but I don't want it to be too annoying. Congratulations. All right, guys, I'm just trying to think if we had any other topics. Okay, a couple other little stories that we can cover quickly because I know it's been a long stream so far. There was a vegan chef who won a fish challenge on the Great British Menu. I don't know much about this show. It seems like it's a really popular cooking show in the UK. And there's a vegan chef on it. He made it to the national finals of the show. He secured his place in the finals with a vegan lasagna, a fish dish, and a dessert judges called Phenomenal. He is the co-founder of a vegan restaurant called Plates in London. He's the first plant-based chef to compete on the program. His 38 out of 40 score in this round of the competition is the joint highest in the history of the Great British Menu regionals. That's crazy. To make the finals, the contestants had to create a series of dishes in the theme of the Olympics and Paralympics. He created the Feast of Farah after the athlete Mo Farah, featured a lasagna made with beans served under a shoebox to symbolize Farah's achievements as a runner. He also made a fish dish, which was supposed to be a celebration of table tennis. He made it using whipped creme fraiche, fermented cheese, seaweed caviar, and crackers. It gained him a perfect score of 10 out of 10 from O'Hare, which is one of the judges. So that's pretty incredible. I don't like fishy flavored things, so I don't think I would like a caviar style. But that sounds really good if you're into that kind of thing, and it sounds really creative. And he also made a dessert, which he took inspiration from the 5 Olympic rings, with each one in the dessert flavor to represent a different continent. This has turned the competition on its head because it is the first ever fully plant-based menu through to the finals week of the Great British Menu. So congratulations, said Judge Ed Gamble, the comedian and food podcaster. So cool to see. And I feel like I've talked about this before, and I know my subscribers have talked about how we feel left out from watching a lot of cooking shows because we don't want to see the byproducts of animal exploitation. We don't want to see meat, etc. And so it's cool when a vegan chef goes on a conventional cooking show, although I still wouldn't want to watch the show overall, but I would want to watch his segments. So that's really cool. And wouldn't it be awesome if he won the whole thing? Served under a shoebox is a new one for me, but he sounds like a legend. Love him in the mix. Yeah, I was like, there's a picture of it. Where is it? It's on Plant-Based News. Vegan chef wins fish challenge on Great British Menu. And you can see a picture of the Feast of Farah. The lasagna looks kind of interesting. It's like black and shiny. I think that's the lasagna. But yeah, definitely very creative plating. Story shows there's really no reason to kill fish to make a delicious dish. I totally agree. Love your good vegan news compilation. The more people hear about positive vegan stories, the closer we are to normalizing veganism. I totally agree with that. I'm so glad. I'm so blown away by the response to that video. Has around 8,000 views, which is much more than any of my. I think it's like the most views any of my videos has gotten in that amount of time. And I love making good vegan news videos, and they're actually, I would say, overall less on the less time consuming end of videos I make. So if people are loving those, I am happy to keep making those, maybe like once per month. Omar Vegan, I am very sorry that happened to you. Let's see. Hope you're doing better. Totally agree, Tamara. Produce not pills. I have a whole video on that. I think it was a little bit controversial on if vegans and non-vegans should date. It's a very personal decision, though, I would say. I don't think there's any answer to it. Tara Romero's becoming a very savvy vegan reporter. Thank you so much. I had one of my vegan friends, Anya, she has an Instagram account called Veg Expert Boston last year. She called me an investigative vegan, which I really liked that. And I will take that title on, and I will continue to do reporting. I have some really exciting interviews coming up this month. One interview that you guys are going to completely freak over who I'm interviewing, and I think you guys are going to be so happy to hear from this person. That's all I will say for now. Will you do collaborations with other vegan channels? I would like to. I have gone live with Sky from Vegan, of course, a few times. I would definitely like to do more of that. I think when I figure out the streaming and like if I'm going to go streaming more often and how often, and if I'm going to do a streaming platform like StreamYard, makes it a lot easier to go live with people. Annabelle, such cool news. I wonder how the chef was portrayed in the segment. I know sometimes edits are made to make it seem like vegan stuff is gross. Really good point. I think it was the John Oliver content that made the YouTube algo recommend your channel to me. Interesting. Yeah, I felt like it was like a mix of things. It was John Oliver and then Palworld too. I think those are both very trending topics that don't always necessarily have to do with veganism. So I think it reached a wider audience. Also, I did do a specific call to action in the comments to ask people to give a thumbs up because I was worried no one was going to see the video because I had to fix all the copyright issues. I ended up uploading it hours later than I was planning to. And so I did the call to action for the thumbs up, and I wonder if that made a difference because thumbs up really do help. And so thinking I should do more of those call to actions in the future. Jon Stewart is vegan. Need to get John Oliver to come out still, though. It does seem like John Oliver is vegan, at least vegetarian. Maybe 9 years ago, a vegan one on Cutthroat Kitchen. The vid is out there somewhere. It's worth watching. Is that a British show? American? Australian? I don't know. Gradually and then all at once. Carrie, I loved good vegan news too. Thank you, Claudia. I found a lot of new vegan channels through collabs. It's definitely a good way to grow. I mean, it can be good in that way. Can definitely help channels grow. To watch too many vegan YouTube channels, would you care to share why? Been curious. And V said, like the stream, everyone. Yes, please. I think in general, as a content creator, a lot of content creators choose not to watch other channels in their same niche because it can kind of just like create noise in your head. And for me, it can sometimes mess with my creativity. Like, for example, in the earlier days of my channel, I would maybe have an idea for a video and I'd be like, oh, I have this idea. It's a great idea. And then maybe I would see that another channel already did it or something like that. And then I would feel like, oh, well, if I do it now, am I just going to be copying them? Or I don't want it to seem like I'm copying them. Or maybe I'd watch it and I'd be like, well, mine isn't going to be as good as this, stuff like that. Where for me, it's just better not to like compare myself to other channels at all. I do like to keep tabs on like what's happening and what other people are liking. But I would say that's the primary reason. For me, it's better just for me to like focus and stay in my own lane, if that makes sense. Get some more water. I'm going to be wrapping up soon, you guys, but thank you so much for joining today. I think this is the longest stream I've ever done, but it flew by because I had so much fun chatting with you guys, and it was nice to not be cooking or doing anything specific so that we could just talk. I still wanted to do it in the kitchen because, I don't know, I just feel like it's like my comfort zone. I can get snacks if I need. I can get drinks if I need. Omar, happy to hear you're in a better place. Vegans together strong, fellow creators are not. I agree. I get you. That makes sense. I can imagine that stuff. Thanks. Yes, if there's food up on the chapter near you. Great suggestion, Annabelle. What's your favorite cuisine? Is that for me? Do you plan on going live regularly? I would like to, yes. When like after the new year. I did my first, well, 2 streams, but my first official stream was on New Year's Day, and it definitely felt like something I wanted to do more of. And I did a poll on my community post a few months ago asking if I were to add more content in the new year, what people would most like to see, and more regular live streams was the number one. So I've got to figure out like if this is a good time. Like, seems like this is a pretty good time for a lot of you because you're here. I feel like it's a good time in general. So I'd like to start doing regular streams, like maybe every other week, something like that, just to start off. To answer the question, my favorite cuisine, I would have to say Thai cuisine, which is really hard to find good vegan, specifically Thai. But I used to say that I could go back and forth between eating Thai and Mexican. Like I could just switch every other night eating one of those. So I'd say those are my 2 favorite cuisines. But then people who have watched my channel for a while know that I absolutely love buffalo flavor, buffalo anything, but specifically like buffalo chicken wings or tenders, things like that. And so I could like add that in as a third night, and with maybe like a really delicious vegan Caesar salad. That would be like my 3. Tamara, I feel like you said something funny on my other stream. I can't remember what it was, about me starting like a Thai and buffalo diet or something. My new cookbook launching soon. I may be biased, but I prefer Asian cuisines to other ones. I do too. I mean, specifically Thai, I would say. And then vegan sushi. Oh my God. If you can get a good vegan sushi, that's like one of the best. And then Vietnamese food I love. And Chinese food I like as well. Like vegan Chinese food. Probably a little lower down. I think I prefer like the flavor and the lightness of Thai and Japanese styles. But I totally agree. And Asian cultures have obviously been cooking plant-based style foods and using tofu and all that for thousands of years. So buffalo flavor is hard to beat, though. I agree. I mean, I discovered Frank's Red Hot sauce in college, and pretty much not a day goes by where I don't eat it. Not kidding. It's 8 a.m. in Australia, Carrie? Oh my gosh. So it must have been like 6 when we started. Thank you for getting up early for this, if you did. Can't name a favorite cuisine, depends on my mood. I agree. Gil, it's been a fun stream. I'm new to the channel. It was good to meet you. Thank you so much, Gil. It's so nice to have you here. My channel has been growing a lot recently, and I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for all my new subscribers and also the old ones who have been here for years. You guys know who you are. Appreciate all of you, really. So you eat buffalo sauce every day, kind of. Thanks for joining, Zach. So easy to cook vegan with East Asian cuisines. Totally agree. Claudia, Annabelle, thanks for mentioning food, not bombs. Fight food, not wars. Love it. Take care, vegan fam. Thanks, Mike, for joining us and for all of your corny jokes. We loved all of them. Vietnamese food for vegan. Still make sure it's not just vegetarian, though. Yes, definitely got to be careful. Love your videos, Mariel. Thank you so much, Carrie. I really appreciate your support. What makes buffalo sauce good, do you know? I don't know. Something about the kick, the flavor. I don't know. It's like a spice, but it's got a strong flavor to it, too. It's not just spicy. It's not just heat. 5 a.m. in Hong Kong, but I'm at work. Wow. You guys really are on the other side of the world. Appreciate you being here, V. Tamara, really enjoyed this stream. I can see the channel growing steadily. Thanks for doing this. Thank you, Tamara. I so appreciate all of your support over the years, and this was so fun to have you here. Unicorn, all the unicorny jokes, Mike. Carrie, I've never had buffalo sauce. I don't know what it is. Carrie, do they not have buffalo things in Australia? Do they not have Frank's Red Hot? Because that's basically what it is. Corny jokes. Pun totally intended. Buffalo sauce is basically vinegar and hot peppers. Yes. just finished mopping my whole house. Thanks for helping. Oh my gosh, so productive. Glad I could help. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. So nice talking to you, and glad we got to cover a lot of interesting topics. And keep an eye out for my next video this week and for more live streams in the future. Keep making awesome vegan content. Thank you, Annabelle. All right, guys. And thanks for all the donations. I appreciate you. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, looking forward to your new videos and streams. Thank you, so corny. All right, bye, guys. Happy weekend. Happy daylight savings. Things are about to get a lot better for a lot of us. And I'll see you soon. Where's my fork? Bye, guys.